Hey everybody, welcome to Kimmel's Irish Pub. Time for another movie review. Tonight's movie, Humane. So, in the wake of an environmental collapse that is forcing humanity to shed 20% of its population, a family dinner erupts into chaos when a father's plan to enlist in the government's new euthanasia program goes horribly awry. So, like, that kind of stuff interests me. Like the fact that there's something going on that they have to eliminate 20% of the population. Like, just, I'm always interested in seeing movies about that. The whole dinner aspect and the father, whatever. I don't know, that kind of, it kind of tailors my interest a little bit. I mean, I think at that point, having dinner, when something like, hey, we're going to wipe out 20% of the population, you're really going to sit down and have dinner? I don't know. Anyway, could be really, really interesting. 5.3 on IMDb. 2,133 people rated so far. Baruchel, you know, I haven't heard from him in a long time. Peter Gallagher's in it. DOC, I know. Yep, don't judge me. Stop judging. I can feel the judgment eyes on you, on me. And other than that, I don't recognize anybody else. Emily Hampshire is another person, but I don't recognize her. But, what do you think of the Blade? Nobody complimented me all day on my shirt, so, you know, if you want to, you can. But anyway, I know you're not here for that. I'm excited about it. Oh, I think I got something on. Anyway, I'm excited about this movie. I'm intrigued, so I'll find out if it's any good. I'll let you know what I think. So stick around. I'll be back. Hey, everybody. We're at the credits of Humane, and I could say it wasn't what I was hoping for, what I was expecting. I shouldn't say expecting, but I had, you know, a thought in my head that this was going to be something different. It's a dark comedy, I'll say. It doesn't say that, but I'm assuming that's the way you would label this. And I was hoping for a movie more about, like, the crisis that's happening, the you know, the 20%, you got to reduce your population by 20%. Like, what's doing that? What's all behind it? And you know, and there should be, you know, the piece that they talked about. So the piece they talked about, I think in the synopsis, you know, was happening at dinner. New euthanasia. I thought they said that about the new euthanasia program, right? So, you know, you're thinking, I don't know, I wanted more around the whole, I don't know, pandemic or epidemic or whatever it is, the demic that's happening, and I thought that's what it was going to be about. And I knew there would be this side story about the family, but it was 100% the family. You don't have any idea, at least I didn't, and if they said it, I missed it, about what's happening. Why do they have to do this? Like, why are they coming around? And they sell it pretty well. Like, they have like a TV show or commercial. Hey, you know, this week's they enlisted. They're enlisting, right? This week enlisted features, you know, Jeff and Lucas, who gave their lives, and then they get paid for it. I get it, right? The government's going to pay, you know, $250,000 for those who decide to enlist and, you know, pretty much die so that the rest of the country can live. Which brings a lot of thought, you know what I mean? Like, if you were, hey, you have to lose 20% of your family, you're going to step up and do it for your family. Of course, that's what I would do so my kids wouldn't have to die. That kind of thing. But it wasn't set up like that. It was just like, hey, we have people who want to, you know, nominate themselves to do this, and the rest of their families will do this. It's not like, you know, so they're trying to figure it out. There's no other rules around it. That's all we know. So this one family decides to all come together with Baruchel's one of the kids in the family, and Peter Engel? Was that his name? I don't know. Peter, I know I said it, right? Peter Gallagher is the father, right? And he's married and stuff, and he brings all the family together for this dinner, as we read, to talk about, you know, what's going to happen. I won't tell you, but you could probably guess what he's going to say. Okay, great. Well, things go awry, whatever happens, and so basically it turns into Ready or Not. If you've seen the movie Ready or Not, it's like that. Essentially where, you know, they're fighting against each other of who's the other person who's going to go, right? And there's a lot more backstory to it, but that's what it turns into. And you get a little bit more insight to each family member not enough that you care. You really care about one guy. You know, you have a little bit more of a story about him, but nobody else, right? So we got Jay Baruchel. He's got 2 sisters and then a brother, right? So there's 4 of them, 2 girls and 2 boys, and one's adopted and you know, had an addiction problem, right? So you can imagine what they're all going to say. So that's what the movie's about. All that. There's a little bit, and then there's Bob, who I didn't even mention. Bob is the guy who comes, Enrico Colantoni. I don't know. I've seen him in a lot of different things. I don't even know probably what's the most popular thing that I've seen him in, but I don't know. I think I've seen him more in TVs. I'm not going to go through everything that he's been in, but you've seen him. You recognize his face. He's like the guy who comes in to collect the bodies and go, right? Or help with the euthanasia and then go. So he's got an interesting kind of flair to him. And there is some comedy in it, so it's really more dark comedy. Now it changes into more of a, you know, I don't know, murderous type of show, and you know, some bad things do start to happen, but it starts out a little bit lighter, and you can see it's whatever. It's a dark comedy. You don't need to explain to you what a dark comedy is. That's what this movie's about. But it falls short. Didn't make me laugh, and not a lot of them do. You know, I think it's trying to keep light of the situation, but the whole setting is in the mansion kind of thing. There's nothing outside. There's no backstory, not only on the pandemic or whatever's happening, but on the characters. There's very little. Peter Gallagher has a little bit more of a backstory behind him, but not enough for you to care about any of them, except for, again, the adopted son. And it's still not enough, just a little bit. So it fell short for me. It didn't meet what I was thinking I was going into, but that's okay. I could pivot. I ever tell you the story about coming home and, you know, when I used to work in the office and talk to my wife, and my wife would be like, hey, tonight we're having meatloaf, right? I like meatloaf. I'm excited. I come home, you know, I get changed. I'm ready to come down to dinner time. She goes, oh, by the way, I didn't make meatloaf. I made tacos. I mean, who doesn't love tacos? Probably tacos is right above meatloaf for me, for sure, right? But that change just, you know, ruins it for me. Like, yeah, I love tacos. Let's have tacos, but not when I came home thinking I'm getting meatloaf. That's what happened. I thought I was getting meatloaf, and I got tacos. Still, I think that's a bad example because I really love tacos. I didn't love this taco. Didn't love it. I don't know. There's a lot missing, a lot left on the table that I think they could have done a little bit better for. I think you change it, you don't make it a dark comedy, you make it just dark and go with it and give us more and more, and make us more invested is my advice. So there you go. Missed the mark on me for this one. I was excited going in, and I might have set my expectations too high. That could also be it too. A lot of times setting my expectations a little bit lower, and sometimes they exceed them. In this case, I messed up. Could be my fault. I'll blame it on me. But there you go. That's what I got. Hopefully I was helpful. I'm not going to go any further. I gave you a great metaphor. Hopefully you use it, and hopefully you have meatloaf the next time you go to watch a movie. Thanks for tuning in. Kimmel's Irish Pub.